How we doing, everybody, and welcome to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Tuesday, a fantastic Tuesday, May 14th. May 14th here, and, well, not a whole lot going on right now, Wisconsin sports-wise. Not a whole lot going on right now. We got the Brewers in full swing. Not a lot of news coming out of the Bucks right now, right? Just entering into the offseason here. Not much going on. We got the draft coming up. That's about as interesting as it gets right now for the Bucks at this very moment, seeing what they'll do there. And then talking about the summer, seeing what kind of moves they'll make. Outside of that, though, not a whole lot happened to the Bucks, Packers, not a whole lot going on that side. We just got the Brewers right now. Brewers, rest of the MLB is taking off right now. The NBA is in the playoffs right now. I wanted to look at a couple of the series that are left and see kind of what's going on out there in the NBA right now. But outside of that, not a whole lot happening. Not a whole lot happening in the world of sports. So right away, I want to talk NBA. I want to talk about the NBA playoffs, what's going on, and who's beating up who right now. And most of the series so far, pretty evenly matched. Outside of the Boston and Cavs series, right now Boston did take that 3-1 lead in the series. Now, we have seen a Cavaliers team go down 3-1, come back and win, right? No LeBron James anymore, no Kyrie Irving, but we've seen it before. It's still a possibility, but that game will be in Boston coming up Wednesday there. For that one, the Celtics, they took game 1. The Cavs bounced back game 2, but the Celtics have taken game 3 and game 4 in Cleveland against the Cavaliers. They're both close games. 106-93, 109-102 was the final of game 4 there. So relatively close matchups so far in this series. Outside of game 1 and 2, game 1, Celtics blew out the Cavs. Game 2, Cavs blew out the Celtics. And now you look at game 3 and 4, relatively close. I honestly think the Cavs could force game 6. I really do think they can. After that, I think Boston's got too much to handle there with Tatum and Brown and everybody else involved in that mess there. But, you look at game 4 of the series, the Cavs were playing without Donovan Mitchell, without Jared Allen in that game. It was like asking for the Celtics to go up 3-1. Not much you can do. Injuries, right? Injuries are what... you look at game 2, Mitchell had 29 in game 2 there to lead the Cavs to that series tie, and then after that, he's been dealing with injury for a little bit now. Mitchell has. So, not great news for the Cavs. Hopefully, see him back game 5. Him and Jared Allen both back in game 5 there and potentially see this series go another game. Outside of that, looking at the other Eastern Conference series right now, the Knicks and the Pacers. Knicks, game 1 and 2, they took care of business, took care of those 2 games. Now the Knicks went on the road. They went to Indiana, and, well, it's been a little bit tough. It's been tougher for the Knicks. Looking at this one, 2-2 series tie right now. And the Pacers, game 3 was close, 111-106, but game 4, 121-89 was the final in that one. The Pacers got the win, and that has led to this 2-2 series tie here. The Knicks, you look at the Knicks, and for them to still be in this playoffs is surprising. No Julius Randle, now no OG Anunoby out there right now. You have Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson trying to lead this team as far as they possibly can right now. And then you look at Mitchell Robinson's been out for the Knicks so far. This has just been an injury-riddled team. It's like... you don't want to say this seems like a sappy Bucks fan moment here, but you look at the Pacers and their path right now. Their path to the Eastern Conference Finals. In first series there against the Bucks. No Giannis, no Dame for a majority of this series there. He played a couple games there, but he was injured, right? He was injured there. Chris Middleton was playing with a bum everything in that series there, and the Pacers won the series. Now you look at them playing against the Knicks. Anunoby gets hurt early in the series there. Now, you didn't have Randall the whole time. You don't have Mitchell Robinson. It's like the Pacers are playing good basketball, I guess. I don't know. It's sounding like a Bucks fan talking right now. This is what's going on here. But I mean, the Pacers are playing good basketball, but at the same time, it's like, wait until you see the Celtics. If the Pacers are able to bang around the Celtics, force it 7, and that's a series, okay, you prove me wrong. But you have played, right now, the Indiana Pacers have played not one, but two injury-riddled teams with some of the best players out. Yes, Jalen Brunson has turned into a star for the Knicks, but Julius Randle has been one of the big dogs in New York for that team. And now not having him, that has really taken off what this team can do. And now you lost Anunoby too. That's also a big kicker. I mean, I guess you can look at it however you want to look at it. If you're a Pacers fan, I get it. You're going to tell me that the Pacers have been playing good ball. I don't know off the top of my head what the regular season series, season series, the record is against the Knicks. I know they had a better record against the Bucks, so I can't. They beat them with Giannis, they beat them with Dame. Get it, 100% understand your argument on that one. But looking at the Knicks, I mean, you've played two, and the playoffs. You listen to a lot of guys. The playoffs are when the teams turn it on. When these teams, they might shuffle through the regular season, not look so great like the Bucks did, but you get healthy, you go into the playoffs, you roll it. You don't have some of your stars. That's gonna put a damper, and that's going to boost other teams, right? Take away from what one team can do, allow the other team to do things. That's what we saw in the Bucks Pacers series without Giannis, and now you look at that series here against the Knicks, missing some of their main pieces. It's going to happen once again. It's going to happen once again. Hopefully, I was cheering for the Knicks in this series. I just got to say it. I don't like Indiana. I don't like the way that they play the game. I just don't like it. I don't like the Pacers. So, yes, I'm a Knicks fan for this series here. I just know it's tough because they are missing a lot of pieces, and they're getting worn down. We know, the Knicks, their big thing, we're gonna run you into the ground. Basically, we're gonna play our starters, even when we're down like 20. We're just gonna keep rolling it out there. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Game 5 brings back in New York there for that series. That series tied up 2-2. Looking over at the Western Conference right now, this one, this series over here between the Mavs and, just trying to scroll her down here to the Mavs and Thunder, that one's 2-1 as I'm looking right now. Remember, night before. So the game is in progress right now between the Dallas Mavericks and the Thunder. Dallas is leading in the series right now. If they go up 3-1, that's going to be tough. That is going to be tough. This is a Mavericks team who is battling injury, right? Luka's battling an injury out there with the knee, but Kyrie Irving has played pretty well in the absence of him there. You're looking at the trio for the Mavs there. They had 71 points combined in Game 3 between PJ Washington, Kyrie, and Luka. They had, a 105-101 win against the Thunder there, Game 3. 71 points came from those three guys right there. So they have a pretty good trio going on right now. They have to be, if they win Game 4, Game 5 is going to be tough for OKC. I know it's back at Oklahoma, so it's going to be, home cooking for them there. But going down 3-1, you got that game at home, but then you go back on the road to Dallas. You got to take care of business there if you are OKC and tie that series back up. Looking over at the other Western Conference series, this one's surprising. I shouldn't say surprising. I didn't think the Nuggets would get swept out of a series. I really didn't think so. This is too good of a team. You're talking about the team with the MVP in Jokic. You're talking about a team who still has Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon and Porter. This is still a solid team. And to see, the Timberwolves went into Denver and took games 1 and 2. And then in Game 3 and Game 4, the Nuggets walked into Minnesota there and said, hey, we still run this thing. We still run the West. You're going to have to beat us for it. So, great series so far there. Anthony Edwards and Jamal Murray are going back and forth with each other. I know Anthony Edwards, he came out and said, we love that, keep talking, is what he said to Jamal Murray. Just two guys Two guys balling out right now. Anthony Edwards has been playing fantastic. He just needs some help. He needs some help from the supporting cast out there, Karl Anthony Towns and everybody else, to get this series, in their favor once again. They're going to be traveling back on Tuesday there. They're going to be taking on, that game will be at Denver on tomorrow night, or tonight here. That'll be tonight here. And then we're going to see Game 6 on Thursday there. That'll be back at Minnesota. So, going to be interesting to see. I will not stay up and watch that game. That's a 9:30 tip for that one. That's a late game for me. That's a late game for me, folks. I'm going to need the beauty sleep there heading into that big Wednesday who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the world of sports between now and then? But lots of stuff to talk about. That's all I know. So with that, before we move on, I want to talk about the Brewers and get into that game last night there. But before we get there, I want to mention the sponsors of the show here quick. First Game Day Supply in Alaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Alaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Also, Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether at work, whether it was on the baseball field, the softball field, whatever it was, and you need some physical therapy, stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. He will get you right. He'll get you back to work, back on the field, back on the court, whatever it is. He'll get you back there. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. Marshfield Motor Speedway is located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. You got to get down to the track this summer. Tons of family fun for all ages. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. All you can ask for a great family day down at the track there. Find the schedule online or on Facebook. Just search Marshfield Motor Speedways. Otherwise, go to my Facebook page, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I shared it on there. You got to check it out. Get yourself down to the track and have a fantastic time. Sports Scene, Sports Cards, and Memorabilia, located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. You got to get down there and see Al. He has everything you need, from sporting cards to memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all at Sports Scene in Marshfield, Wisconsin. And also Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. Spring's right around the corner. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're in spring, right? Summer's right around the corner. You get your times of year mixed up, right? The weather fluctuates. I just get that feeling it's still spring out there, right? But hey, summer's right around the corner. There it goes. Summer's right around the corner. And you might need to get some gardening tools. You might need some power tools. I don't know. Maybe you're building something. You need some power tools. You need a gift for that special someone who is going to build you something. Get yourself down to Pittsville Farm and Home down there. They have all the power tools you need, all the gardening tools. They got it all. Get down there. Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. But with that, I want to get into the Brewers. I want to get into last night's all you can say is a heartbreaking matchup, right? That's about all I can say is it was a heartbreaking fashion. The Brewers took the loss last night there to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it started out early in this one. The Pirates jumped out early in this game to a 2-0 lead. Colin Ray did get a quality start. He did get a quality start out of this one. He ended up going 6 in this game, but Pirates get 2 in the first there, 1 in the third, 2 in the seventh, 2 in the eighth, and 1 in the ninth, and that was the final nail in the Brewers' comeback attempt there. Blew the tires out, right? Blew the tires out there on the comeback wagon, and they couldn't get back into this one. Brewers, 2 in the seventh inning and 4 in the eighth there. That was what, got them back into it. It was a 7-6 game then, heading into that top half of the ninth, and the Brewers just could not hang on to, not hang on, but attempt to get into that bottom of the ninth inning, only chasing 1 run there. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. In this one, hitting was, the Brewers hit the ball fine. Looking down the lineup, Terang 0 for 3. He was pinch hit for by Monasterio late. Monasterio did draw 2 walks and scored a run for the Brewers late in this game. So Monasterio set the Brewers up nicely in his pinch hit appearances. William Contreras 3 for 5 in this game here, 1 run and 1 strikeout. that was late in this one. That was a costly one with Monasterio standing there at third base. And, well, nope, not at third base yet. He struck out on the steal to second, which was thrown into center field, which allowed Monasterio to get the third. Yelich then came up. Yelich was not able to come through with a hit to bring in Monasterio. He went 1 for 5 on this ball game here with 4 strikeouts. Not a great night. Not a great night for Yelich at the plate there. 4 strikeouts. Did have that hit, though. I mean, he'll have games like that. You'll have games like that. Willy Adames, 1 for 5 also in this game here. 2 RBIs, though. Had a double to that right center field gap. Right center field, or right, kind of right center, almost to right, over top ahead of Reynolds. He was able to field it, throw it in. O'Neal Cruz ended up throwing Willy Adames out at third base, trying to stretch that play into a triple. Rhys Hoskins, he was injured early in this game here. Rhys Hoskins went out with injury, 1 for 1 in his game here. He had a hit early in this one and did not return. Pulled up a little gingerly on his way down the first. Nobody really talked about it at first. If you watched him on his hit, went into the corner, I thought he maybe was going to attempt for second base, pulled up right before first. And it was like, oh boy, here we go. But the way Matt Arnold made it seem was that he was being evaluated by the training staff, but, it wasn't bad. It wasn't his knee again, right? Because the biggest worry was his knee right away, right? Because we've seen the knee injury with him, held him out last year. So I was like, okay, is it the knee? No, it's the hamstring. So he's going to have an MRI this morning here, and we're going to have to see. It's a wait and see kind of thing. It was like seeing him go down with, the worst part is we were finally slowly starting to get to full strength, right? Garrett Mitchell's not back, but we had Christian Yelich back. We were starting to see what the lineup could potentially look like for the summer, for the fall, whatever the Brewers get into playoff-wise, if they, knock on some wood there, right? But we were finally starting to see it, starting to see this lineup get to full strength, and then we watch Hoskins go down. And it's like, oh, man, can we catch a break? Can we catch a break? I mean, come on. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, everything comes out of that MRI, and it was just a tweak. Maybe a little time off here, but nothing major, and we will see Rhys Hoskins back soon. That's the only thing we can hope for at this point, because it's a wait-and-see kind of period right now. The worst part, excuse me there, the worst part, honestly, was Rhys Hoskins was starting to hit the ball. He was starting to get hot. 3-run home run there against the Cardinals, put the Brewers up ahead. Now he had a big single in this first inning. I mean, a solid hit, right? Went with the pitch, took it the other way, shot it down the line. I mean, this guy was starting to see the baseball. He was starting to hit it well. Now this goes, and it's like, oh, well, that's the Brewer. That's the Brewer thing right now, is once it starts to get going, injury. Injury happens. Yelich starts to get going, injury. We lose him for 21 games, and now he gets back. We lose Hoskins. Hopefully, like I said, everything comes out of this, and everything checks out good. The MRI goes good, and it's just basically, we need some rest. We need a little bit of time off. We're back in the lineup in a few short days or whatever it's going to end up. I would imagine probably maybe an IL stint, just because they don't want to have that vacant spot in the roster there. They want to probably bring back up Tyler Black, I would assume, would be the guy that would be coming back up as Tyler Black. Maybe Owen Miller comes back up. That could be another potential guy. He has been hitting the ball very well down there at the AAA level. Maybe we see Owen Miller come back up with the club if Hoskins does end up in the IL here. But not good news there, but hopefully, that since it's not the knee, we get some better news coming tomorrow morning there. But in moving on there, out of Hoskins, we saw Perkins go 1 for 4. He did come into pinch run, then moved to center field. Frelick moved from center to right there. He went 1 for 3 on this ball game. Sanchez was 1 for 2. Ortiz, 2 for 4 in this game. He stays hot. And then Bowers was hot in this ball game. 4 solid hits Two of them were caught by Reynolds. One landed in front of Reynolds, and the other one went over Reynolds' head for the grand slam there in that 8th inning that gave the Brewers a shot there late. It's just a blast. It was a heck of an at-bat. Watching that at-bat, the way that he battled, and was able to poke that ball over the right field fence, and a no-doubter at that. He knew it once he hit it, and you kind of you felt it. You felt the momentum start to change, and then it changed right back because the Pirates weren't going to go away. Churro in this one, 0 for 4 at the bottom of the lineup there. He played right and moved to left later on in this game here. Colin Ray, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, a home run given up there, and a walk. He gave up that home run early on there to, I believe it was Sawinski. I believe Sawinski was the one who hit that home run off of Colin Ray. Yes, it was. It was Sawinski there that hit the home run off of Colin Ray. Outside of that, quality start out of Colin Ray. Not a bad outing. 3 runs given up there in total. That's not a bad day at the ballpark. Vieira struggled in his appearance. A third of an inning, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. I was talking to one of my buddies there off the Brew Pod there, and Brew Pod Brewers podcast there, and I was talking to him a little bit there, and we kind of had the same thing. We were thinking the same thing. Brew Pod between the lines. I wanted to get it right. There. Brew Pod between the lines there. He has a podcast out there talking Brewers, and I was talking to him a little bit, and when Vieira came in, the immediate thing that he said was, we're waving the white flag, right? We're kind of just throwing in the towel. It makes you think that, when you really think how you were looking at it. It's a 3-0 game. Brewers weren't able to get anything going. You're kind of just hoping Vieira can get you through it, but the way that Vieira has been pitching this year, it's about a run on average per game. That's just plain and simple. You look at his outings, it is about a run per outing that he is going to give up. So in this inning here, 2 runs given up by him. Nothing great. And then we saw White come in there, Mitch White, in his debut with the Brewers, inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 2 earned runs there on that 2-run home run. I don't want to say his outing was bad. I really don't want to say his outing was bad. I thought, you got to see him for a couple. I don't want to see the Brewers just throw him to the wind right away. Yeah, he gave up 2 runs. It wasn't a dominant outing by any means. But, when I saw him pitching out there, it's like the nerves were still there, right? This is a guy who's bounced around ball clubs. He was once a top prospect. Now he's bounced around a little bit. Team to team, the Blue Jays to the Giants there, and now with the Brewers, he's bounced around in the past week. He's just trying to stick with the ball club. He's pressuring himself at this point. I get it. If you want to say, yeah, he's not that great, everything like that, maybe he's not. But what I'm saying is you can't judge the book off of one outing here, off of giving up 1 hit. Yeah, it was a long ball, but 1 hit. Because guess what? Vieira's given up a couple runs too. And we've given him unlimited amount of trial and error right now. So I like Vieira, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that you cannot, I am not throwing in the towel on White yet. I would see if, tomorrow goes well, the Brewers have a big lead, throw him in there. See what happens then, right? See what happens then. If he has a big lead, if he's up 11-1 with a big lead, and he gives up a couple of runs, or he loads up the bases and gives up a run or keeps walking guys, now it's a different kind of story. But I can't judge him off of 1. I can't. Not for 1 hit. And I'm the first guy to jump on the judgment bus, right? You guys, if you guys listen long enough, you've heard me about Christian Yelich. You've heard me about Jordan Love. You've heard me about all the things above. I'm the first guy to jump on that bandwagon and say, this guy stinks, right? This guy stinks. He's not worth the time. He's not worth the money, whatever it is. I've said it all. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy has got good stuff. We've seen, if you really look at his highlights and everything like that, he's got good stuff. He's ran into a slump as of late here, and I'm not going to close the book down on him yet that this guy could not stick on a roster. I'm not going to close it down. Now, if it doesn't work out in Milwaukee, it doesn't work out in Milwaukee, but this guy's got good stuff. If you really dive into his highlights and his mechanics, everything like that, seeing what he actually brings in a solid, good outing there, he's got the stuff. He's just got to work through the nerves, the jitters, and everything like that. So hopefully this was that game, and we see some good stuff out of him moving forward there. Also, last guy to talk about there, Pyams. He had an inning pitch there, 2 hits, 1 earned run there on the home run to Brian. Brian Reynolds should have struck out. Brian Reynolds should have struck out. You look at his at-bat there against Pyams, and the at-bat should not have gone as long as it did. Looking at it, there was a first pitch was a ball way high. Second pitch was a ball way low. Those two, plain as day, you could see it. The called strike on the corner, got him. Called strike on the fourth pitch of the at-bat. The fifth ball, I can name to you 3 times, if not 5 or 7 times in this ball game, that Malachi had rung up or called a strike on a Brewers hitter on this same pitch. Just on the corner on the bottom of the zone, right where he wanted it. And, Contreras struck out on that pitch. Yelich had a couple down there that were called strikes. Same with Bowers. Same with Perkins. Same with Sal. We can go through everybody. They all had a strike called down there. And to see this change that fast that, hey, we're not going to call it, okay. Now it extends another pitch. That one gets fouled off. Now it extends one more. Home run to center field. It was, there's one thing to have an inconsistent zone. This zone was wide. This zone was all over the place. And, once in a blue moon, you'd get a call. You wouldn't get a call. There was pitches in the zone that weren't called strikes. There was pitches outside the zone that were called strikes. Just downright terrible. Downright terrible. I know we're going to see the pitching or the umpire report coming out here today on his work there in that game. And man, oh man, I can only imagine it was bad. I can only imagine. Mitch Keller lived down there. He lived around the zone because he could. And Colin Ray couldn't because at one point it turned into a 2-sided affair. But early on there, it was a lot of Mitch Keller getting a lot of calls. A lot of calls all around the zone. And that's not to knock Mitch Keller because he had a pretty good outing in this game here against the Brewers. He was able to control the bats for Milwaukee. You look at his stat line in this game, 6 innings, 8 hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Solid day at the ballpark, and then Fleming came in, and, they kind of just hung Fleming out to dry. He loaded up the bases, nobody getting ready in the bullpen, and then Bowers comes up, hits the bomb. They were going for that lefty matchup. Bowers won it, but, Fleming was losing that control. It was kind of surprising to see. And then Brewers after that, we got Stratton, couldn't get to him, and then Bendar came in late, and the Brewers could not get after him there. It sucks. It does. And, talking to my buddy there off of Brewpod there, Brewpod Between the Lines there, and talking to him, and like he said, this is the Brewers trend. Lose about 3 in a row there, then they'll win 3. Then they'll lose 3 in a row. Then they'll win 3. At some point, do you snap out of the trend? I hope so. I hope so, and I hope so that it's going to be coming up tonight here. That'll be coming up tonight here against this Pirates team. They're going to be taking on Priester from the Pirates there. He's 0-3 with a 3.86 ERA. Joe Ross will square off with him for the Brewers, 1-4 with a 4.75 ERA on this season here. Not a lot of help from the offense when Joe Ross is on the mound. Looking at the Brewers lineup against Priester there, we've had a little bit of experience. Adames, 2 at-bats. He's got nothing to show for it. Contreras in 3 at-bats, 333. Yelich in 2 at-bats, he's hitting 500 against him there. Other than that, everybody else, no success against Priester so far. For the Pirates against Joe Ross, a little bit of experience and a little bit of success against him there. Grandal 4 at-bats, hitting 500. McCutchen, he's hitting 333 in 15 at-bats. He's got 2 home runs and 5 RBIs against him there. And then Williams, a 500 average. 250 for Reynolds there. And O'Neal Cruz with 1,000 batting average against him there. So the Brewers have a little bit of experience against Priester there, and the Pirates have some experience against Joe Ross there. McCutchen a lot with the Nationals, when Joe Ross was still with the Nationals and everything like that, is when he got a lot of time against him there. So with that, Brewers tonight, 6:40 start for that one. I want to look at the out-of-town scoreboard real quick here. Look what we saw going on last night there in some action. Looking around the league right now, we saw the Nationals and White Sox got postponed. Astros took care of the Athletics 9-2. We saw the Guardians over the Rangers 7-0. The Cubs lose to the Braves 2-0. Craig Counsell was tossed for the first time out of a Cubs game. He got ejected from that ball game there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Phillies beat the Mets 5-4. We saw the Red Sox lose to the Rays 5-3. Tigers, they beat the Marlins 6-5 in that one. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 3-2. And that was about it. I mean, that was about it for notable games, I guess you could say, last night there around the league. So with that, I got a couple of, what would you call them? Couple of cool, I don't know if you call them cool, but whatever you want to call them there. We got, there was a list. They came out, it was Brooksgate, came out with a list there of MLB, NBA, and NFL team equivalents based on winning percentage over the last 10 years. So closest, we're going to put teams together, closest general category of, winning percentages, where they're at, and everything like that. So, number one on the list, based on the last 10 years winning percentage, number one in the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL. We have the Dodgers, Golden State, Warriors, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Thought that one was interesting. You got to have the Patriots in there, right? They come in that 2 spot there, along with the Celtics and the Houston Astros. But everybody here, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. We want to see some Wisconsin teams. In the 4 spot, we have the Green Bay Packers and the Milwaukee Bucks. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was real interesting right there. Looking up above them in, the Bucks, above the Bucks in winning percentage over the last 10 years, you have the Golden State Warriors, the Celtics, and the Clippers above them there. And then you have the Bucks in that 4 spot. Looking at the NFL, you have the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Steelers, then the Packers. That's good stuff, if you ask me. That's pretty good success over the last 10 years. And then you look down the list. And you say, okay, where's our fighting Brewers? Where's the Brew Crew at on this list? Brewers coming in the 9 spot in the MLB rankings over the last 10 years. Dodgers, Astros, Yankees, Guardians, Cardinals, Rays, Cubs, Braves, Brewers. So Brewers coming in that 9 spot right there. Here's the fun. Here's the fun of the list here now. The 11 spot is the Vikings. The Vikings did make it in the 11 spot, so good for the Vikings there to make it up near the top of the list. Looking over at our friends there in Detroit, though, they're 21st on the list right now. They are sitting in that 21st spot. And then we look all the way down in the 28th spot. Not bad by any means, right? You're ahead of the Giants and the Browns. Congratulations, Bear fans. Congratulations to the Chicago Bear fans. You have successfully gotten yourself out of the bottom of the barrel. You are now 3rd to the bottom, right? We're moving up, right? Caleb Williams is on his way. The Bears are back, baby, right? The Bears are back. I'll believe it when I see it. You got to deal with Jay Love now, man. You got to deal with Jay Love, Bear fans. That's all I know. You got to deal with Jordan Love. It's all I got to say. You got to deal with Jordan Love. Maybe I said it last year. The Bears have a fantastic defense, right? The front for the Bears was number 1 in rush defense. They were fantastic. I never said anything bad about the Bears defense. It's the offense. Now you add in Caleb Williams. This is all I'm going to say. You can add in Caleb Williams all you want. You can add in this generational talent who's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, every great quarterback that's ever lived put into one. That's all the hype that I've heard, right? Not those exact words, but from the way that they talk about this guy, that's the words that they're putting into the mouth there. That's what they're telling me. So you can have this fantastic generational quarterback, but you got to put him in the right system. You got to put him with the right head coach. Right? Because, if Brock Purdy, and this is no knock on Brock Purdy, because I think Brock Purdy does fantastic for what Brock Purdy is asked to do. But you put Brock Purdy in a different system. I don't think he works as well in the NFL. But you put him with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco there, fantastic. You cannot knock what San Francisco 49ers have done with Brock Purdy on that team. So, that's the big thing. When I look at the grand scheme of things and quarterbacks being drafted, right? It's all about the system. Jordan Love, coming out of college, I'm going to tell you one thing. I was a doubter. I was a big-time doubter. But you put Jordan Love in the right system, be able to work his way up, learn behind Aaron Rodgers, as much as people don't think he probably learned a lot behind Aaron Rodgers on his way up. That helped him propel. That got him into that first year where when his back was against the wall at the beginning of the year, did not fade and started to ball out near the end there and played fantastic football. Good enough football that people were on him saying, holy crap, the Packers are back. The pack is back, right? And this team they are talking about them being one of the better teams in the NFC coming up next year, and rightfully so, because you're bringing back a lot of the same playmakers there. So that's the big thing when I look at even guys, outside of Caleb Williams, right, who have been drafted, J.J. McCarthy and your Michael Penix and your Bo Nix, right, working with Sean Payton now. How does that quarterback fit into that system? Right? How does he fit with the head coach? How does the head coach work with him in the offensive scheme, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, whatever it is? How do they work with that system? That's what we're going to wait and see there. So, a little off topic there of the list that I was talking about, but that's just, kind of what I was seeing right now. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about there. Also, in other news, this was dumb. This is so dumb. This is Fox and college football being dumb once again. Wisconsin, Alabama, right? Everybody, if you are hoping, right, we're hoping Luke Fickell turns this Badger team around this year. This is the year we're hoping we see the Luke Fickell offense. He's got his guys in the room. We should see a turnaround kind of year, right? And you have Alabama coming to Camp Randall. You have Alabama coming to Camp Randall on September 14th. So where do you think that game should be, time-wise? Where do you think that game should be played? Should it be, are we thinking, that game should be at, 11 o'clock in the morning? You think we should put it at, 7 o'clock at night? Where should we put that game? Well, college football decided, let's put that thing on noon. Let's put it on big noon kickoff, right? That's the place to put it. Not a primetime game. Let's put that thing at noon. It always blows my mind. I'm just looking down the line here at games that day on September 14th, trying to see if there's any notable matchups on September 14th. I'm not seeing a single one. I got to be honest with you. I'm not seeing a single one. Unless you count Notre Dame and Purdue as a marquee matchup, but I do not. I do not see that as being a marquee matchup. I'm just looking down the line here of games, and there is not LSU, South Carolina. Like, what game are you putting on in primetime? Over top of a game between Alabama and Wisconsin, which could be two undefeated teams rolling into that game. Luke Fickell might have the ship righted, right? And you're talking about an Alabama team without Nick Saban now, but with a very good head coach coming out of Washington. So it kind of, I don't know. I just always had that feeling about when they schedule these games, looking at even this one, but then looking back last year with Penn State and Ohio State many times, and Ohio State and Michigan many times being on like a noon kickoff. Like, why is that your noon game? You have a lot of these ranked matchups. Why are they on at noon? Why are they not primetime games? It's always something stupid. I don't get it. And then the one time they put the Badgers in primetime, they put them on Peacock and they played Nebraska. Just a barn burner of a game between two bad teams last year. And that's a primetime game Wisconsin gets, right? I don't know. I don't know how people feel about it, right? I don't know how people feel about that matchup or the time slot for it. That's just kind of where I was leaning towards. It was like interesting time slot there. But, with that, that's about all I got for today. A couple of things I saw floating around social media. A lot of Brewers talk. Brewers trying to bounce back here. Game 2 of the series coming up tonight here against the Pirates. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. But until I catch you guys back here tomorrow, hopefully talking about a Brewers win, right? Hopefully talking about a Brewers win. But until I catch you guys back here on Wednesday, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.